Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlin, Perkins, and Jim Fowler. When Wild Kingdom debuted in the early 1960s, handling and training animals to perform were common in many zoos. But today, animals like this capuchin monkey serve as wildlife ambassadors for their species in order to educate rather than just to entertain. These ambassadors have been hurt in the wild and would not survive without human interaction. Trained professionals bottle feed them and foster the animals back to health. And the animals become imprinted on their human caregivers. Wild Kingdom showed generations of people the majesty of our animal ambassadors and helped us to care about them. When you care about something, you become committed to saving it. And that's how we all succeed in the Wild Kingdom. So we're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. From the beautiful and world-famous St. Louis Zoological Gardens, here is the director of the zoo, Marlin Perkins.
Hello. Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I've just been given a new painting. Pretty bright colors, and interesting design, too. Our subject today has to do with animal intelligence. And the artist who painted this is going to help us investigate some of the aspects of this interesting subject. I'd like to have you meet him. This is Mr. Moak, the most versatile member of the cast of the famous St. Louis Zoo chimpanzee show. Mr. Moak and a number of the other chimpanzees have demonstrated such amazing mental reactions to problems that I think they're probably the most intelligent animals in the world. Mr. Moak, let me help you start on your next masterpiece. That's a pretty good start, Mr. Moak. Yes, the title of our program today is Monkey Shines, and when it comes to intelligence, monkeys really do shine. Not very many animals could become artists like Mr. Moak, but I'm not so sure that the ability to paint is a very good test for intelligence. But what is intelligence? One definition is the ability to solve problems that have never been faced before. Another definition is the ability to learn. One good test of intelligence is to find out if an animal has memory.
I've been setting up a little memory test here with a woolly monkey. By putting grapes in the pocket, I'm conditioning it to expect the grape in this pocket and not in this one over here. So to do this little test, I think theoretically, if you'll take him and then put your hand over his eyes or turn him the other way, I'll put the grape in this pocket and we'll see if he remembers that it should be in that one.
Right?
Okay. Well, at least for that short period of time, he remembered that the grape should be in that pocket. There is a relationship between the length of time, the number of objects that an animal can remember, and its intelligence. And monkeys show a very high degree of intelligence in this area.
They certainly do. One of the very best places in the world to study animal intelligence is at the Yerkes Laboratories of Primate Biology in Orange Park, Florida. And here, as usual, monkeys really do shine. This laboratory is operated by Emory University, and the studies conducted here have made a considerable contribution to our scientific knowledge. Many primates are studied, and the favorite subject is the chimpanzee. Banana slices are used as a reward for success, And here Dr. Davenport of the Yerkes staff conducts a demonstration in tool using. The shimp uses the tool as an extension of his arm. There are few species of animals that learn tool using, but this is not necessarily due to lack of intelligence. It is more likely because few animals have hands. He's showing some ingenuity now by shifting hands. There are both right-handed and left-handed shimps, you know, just like people. Dr. Rogers, also of the Yerkes staff, is conducting a series of experiments in the ability of certain animals to learn to discriminate between shapes of objects. Once again, the reward is a banana slice. He must remember under which shape the banana has been placed, even if the shape is moved. This time our subject is the orangutan, and experiments conducted here indicate that he may be as intelligent as the shimp. This orangutan has been taught to find his reward under the circle. Now let's see if he remembers his lesson. This test is conducted regularly each day, so they do involve remembering over a period of time. Yes, he seems to have remembered his lesson pretty well. He may not look it, but this is really one of the most intelligent of all animals. Now, just to prove the first test wasn't a lucky guess, we'll try it again. These discrimination tests can be used with different types of animals, and this is one measure of comparative intelligence. Now, our final stop is at a colony of pig-tailed macaques. The social behavior of these monkeys is being studied here. The dominance of one big male seems to keep relative peace in the group and is probably responsible for holding the group together. Both mother and children keep a respectful distance when the food is passed around. Dad has first choice here at Yerkes Laboratories. Jim, do you think Mr. Moak is finished with that picture yet?
How are you supposed to tell when he's through? Looks like he's just getting started to me.
Well, Mr. Moak, why don't you go on back and finish that masterpiece there?
He's really becoming a dedicated artist. I have one of our tame raccoons here, Marlin. Or at least I thought he was one of our tame raccoons. He's a member of the carnivore family. So why don't we conduct a simple memory test with this raccoon like we did with the woolly monkey?
Okay.
Now, I've been feeding him out of this pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get him away from me, and when he comes back, we'll see if he remembers that the food should be in this pocket. Well, he hasn't remembered where it should be. It looks like to me he's using his sense of smell rather than his mind. So I would say from this test, it looks like the monkey has a better memory than the raccoon.
Yeah, I think he does. This is a simple experiment, but with experiments like this and others much more complex, psychologists have been able to develop a general order of animal intelligence. This, of course, is very difficult to determine accurately, but I think at the head of almost anyone's lists would be primates. Here you have chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, gibbons, and the smaller monkeys such as woolly monkeys. Next on the list are the carnivores, meat eaters, dogs, cats, and such other carnivores as raccoons. Below these would be the ungulates, or hoofed animals. I think horse lovers will have a little problem placing a horse below dogs or monkeys, but in our list, at least, that's where they belong, along with elephants and pigs. Below the mammals are the birds. Now, the remaining groups of animals are even more difficult to evaluate because as you move down in the scale of animals, behavior is based mostly on instinct. Below the birds come the reptiles. There are turtles, snakes, lizards, and crocodiles, and these, generally speaking, are fairly dumb creatures, but not as dumb as the amphibians, frogs, toads, and salamanders. At the bottom of our list are fish. Now, I suppose some fishermen will contest that, particularly on the days when the fish all got away. There are some people who confuse instinct with intelligence. Jim has a little animal over here that may help us to better understand this.
Marlin, I've been testing the ability of this ant to learn the shortest route through this maze. And other tests indicate that he's supposed to be able to do this in 20 or 30 times. But the amazing fact is that a white rat or a man might take just as long to learn this as an ant. And of course we can't reason, therefore, that an ant is as intelligent as a man, so we have to look for another explanation. The explanation is that the ant is doing this primarily by his natural instinct for trail finding, his keen sense of smell and his sense of feel. So in all these tests, we have to evaluate the difference between intelligence and instinct. And in this case, I would say that instinct is playing much more of a part than reasoned intelligence.
Since instinct and intelligence are easily confused, we need many ways of testing animals' intelligence. One measure of animal intelligence is their ability to be trained or to learn a routine. One of the most experienced men in this field is Keller Breland. At his Animal Behavior Enterprises in Hot Springs, Arkansas, he's accomplishing feats with animals you'll find hard to believe. Keller is an animal psychologist, and his special training technique is based on conditioning by reinforcement. The natural instincts and abilities of the animal are more important than intelligence in this technique. Before visiting him, I asked Keller to show me what a pig could learn to do in just 7 days. Not bad. Of course, the immediate reward of food is the reinforcement in this training technique. The bell is the signal that tells the animal he's done the right thing and is about to receive a reward. It seems to work every time with this young fellow. Now we begin to see why pigs are one of his favorite subjects. He's found that they're quick to learn and can retrieve just like a dog. Keller feels that pigs learn many things faster for a food reward than do dogs, and when young, make good pets. It seems to me I've seen a dog play like this many times. Now we're going to look in on an animal that certainly doesn't rate very high where intelligence is concerned. This chicken does rate well in discrimination, however. When he pecks the proper ring, a buzzer sounds, and corn drops in the feeder as his reward. Now here's one that took me some time to figure out. It's like the old shell game. A rock is used under one of the cups instead of a peanut. We'll try that again to be sure it wasn't just luck. You begin to wonder after a while if perhaps we haven't been underestimating the intelligence of these birds. The answer, however, lies in the chicken's excellent vision and its special ability to discriminate at close range, which he does in scratching or pecking at the ground. There's a trick to it, of course. One of the cups has a small mark that any self-respecting chicken can easily see. Now comes a real treat because we're going to pay a visit to Keller Breland's famous IQ Zoo. Here we see the first of a series of unique animal acts trained by using the same techniques we've just seen demonstrated. Have you ever seen a chicken doing the twist? Well, here the perfectly natural scratching action of a chicken has been developed into a reasonable facsimile of the twist. Unbelievable, isn't it? Here's something a little different. Perching, of course, is a natural instinct for this fellow. Walking a rope is not. But constant training with reinforcement, has taught him to do it with ease. Ducks can do more than quack. They can be taught to play a bass drum. This pig has been taught to save his money. Do you suppose this is where the name piggy bank came from? Before we leave this amazing IQ zoo, let's meet the basketball-playing raccoon. I couldn't say that this is a natural instinct, but Keller Breland found that the only animal that really took to basketball was the raccoon. I wonder if the Globetrotters have ever heard about this fellow. Keller Breland's method of animal training certainly is an admirable accomplishment. He has every right to be proud of his IQ zoo. Oh, did you find the light a little better on this side of the house? Well, here, we'd like to have you interrupt your painting long enough to help us with an experiment over here that Jim is setting up.
Marlin, this test is a good one because it's a simple one, and it can be used on almost any kind of animal there is. All that's required is that the animal be hungry and that he's able to move. Now, it's a test of an animal's ability to reason or have what we call insight intelligence. Now, this is a simple wire barrier with 3 sides, and all we have to do is to put food on this side, the animal over here. Now, if he's one of the more intelligent animals, he will very quickly put 2 and 2 together and almost instantly go around the barrier or reach around to get the food. If he's less intelligent, he will take much longer to go around and get the food, or sometimes not find it at all until he's wandered around it and come on it by accident. The least intelligent animals may never figure this out at all and continue to stay right here next to the barrier trying to get the food directly. So since Mr. Moak here is really almost a genius, why don't we try it out on him first?
Okay, put the food down.
Here you go, Moak.
Well, you did very well. In fact, I think you are almost a genius. Now, back to that masterpiece.
Well, let's see how well a raccoon will do this.
Pete, where'd you come from? Let's watch this.
He should not be able to reason this out the first time, at least. He might wander around and find it by accident, in which case he could go ahead and learn from that point on.
Well, Jim, this is following the pattern of the previous tests that have been made with carnivores. And this shows that they are not as high on the scale of intelligence as are the primates. As you progress downward in the intelligence chart, you find that it takes animals longer and longer to complete tests such as this one, and their memory span is shorter. Jim, if you'll put the animals away, I'd like to finish by testing Mr. Moak. First, I would like to try him on a test that is given to children. Psychologists present this test to children and ask them to place these differently shaped objects in the corresponding openings in the board. The time is noted, and the progress and ability of the child is indicated by the time required to complete this test on repeated times, like second, third, fourth, and so forth. Now, this is devised for children, but how do you think a chimpanzee will be able to do? Well, first let me tell you that Mr. Moak is already acquainted with this test, but there's been a little time lapse, so let's see if he remembers. First, you have to put your palette down, and then sit on the table, please. Right down on the table. That's right, just turn around and face here. Attaboy. Now you have to concentrate hard. Here we go. Up close to the board here. Get in position. Here's number 1. Number 2. That was very good. Oh, well done, Mr. Moak. Very good. Now, tests like this and similar tests that have been given both to children and to chimpanzees, the chimpanzees, strangely enough, make as good a score up to about age 3 as do human children. But beyond that age, there's a remarkable difference. The children continue to advance and progress and make better and better scores while the chimpanzees level right off. Now, Mr. Moak's testing would not be complete without the famous banana test. Come on. Okay, Moak, come up here. That's a boy. Now, this is a test in problem solving that was devised many years ago by Dr. Kohler in Germany and since retested by Dr. Robert Yerkes and many others. First, you show the animal something he likes very much as a reward. Okay, Jim, you better take it up out of the way. That's about right. And then by putting the animal on the floor, he must, of his own ingenuity, figure out a way to get to that banana. Okay, Moak, you're on your own. Mr. Moak, you're all right. Sit right down here and eat your earned reward. Moak certainly got the right idea. Look the problem over, find the solution, and then carry it out. There may be another solution to this problem. Let's see if Mr. Moak has figured it out. The same thing happened to Dr. Kohler with his chimpanzee. As we watch this wonderful animal with actions and abilities so much like our own, we can see that at least according to our definition of intelligence, he's a very superior animal. But we must be careful not to draw general conclusions about animal intelligence from this very limited observation. You may have the most wonderful dog at home, which from your observations is much more intelligent than your neighbor's cat. Your observations may be correct about this dog and this cat, but does it mean that all dogs are more intelligent than all cats? I think you'll agree it doesn't. It requires the controlled psychological tests of many dogs before a general conclusion like this can be reached. To make sweeping generalizations is a pretty risky thing to do. Remember, each animal is an individual just like you and I. So there is a never-ending variety of these wonderful creatures surrounding us in what we call the wild kingdom.
Like what you saw? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more exclusive content. And visit our website at wildkingdom.com.